that this planet is the only planet in our galaxy where complex biological systems exist at our level. Depth. It's possible. It's the only place where meaning currently exists in a galaxy of 400 billion stars. And therefore, I would argue just at very basic that we have a tremendous responsibility to understand. By the way, I gave a talk, a video to one of the climate summits, COP climate summit in Glasgow a few years ago, and they asked me to speak to the world leaders. I think they thought I'd say, well, Glasgow has a nice meeting. But I made the argument that it's possible that this is the only place where complex biology in our galaxy. If that's true, this is the only island in the galaxy. And you are responsible for it because you are the world. Therefore, if you destroy it, either action or inaction, then each of you would be personally responsible for destroying the galaxy of 400 billion. Then you can go and discuss that. But we can all argue, because people are listening, nonsense, how can it be? We can all argue about whether that's true. What I would say is, given that, as far as I'm aware, we don't have any good evidence to contradict, which goes back to your previous question, it's a reasonable working assumption. So why don't we just operate on that basis? And then, if someone lands to me, as I said, I'd be very delighted, because then what I just said would be false. And we could relax a bit, so it doesn't really matter if we destroy ourselves to some extent. So I think it's worth taking seriously civilization is very rare. Now, by the way, I used to say, probably last time I was on, I used to say that in the far future, then complex life has ceased to exist. So it probably doesn't matter on a global scale, but it matters locally because of this idea that emerges from complex biology. So if you don't care about that, what do you care about? But actually, I read a book. Don't you have David Deutsch on the show? David Deutsch is really one of the founders of quantum physics. He's a big figure in quantum physics. He's a great guy. And I was reading some stuff he wrote recently, and he pointed out that it's not necessarily true that life is, because you could imagine a situation as you go to the far future. Let's imagine that we continue for a million years or a billion years. Imagine what we can do. It is possible that life can start, that it can start to manipulate the universe itself. So, or at least start. Imagine, for example, just imagine, it's wild speculation, but imagine life gets so advanced that it can start to change the destiny. Maybe it could start to add material into the star or something, whatever. We don't have to do that, but it's possible, but imagine it could. Then evolution life would matter in the sense that it could start to change the way that the universe behaves on a large scale. And so it reminded me actually, there's another great book, John Barrow's particular called The Anthropic Cosmology in the 1980s. One of my favourite books actually. And I remembered it. And in there, they speculate life in the past. And it became powerful enough to manipulate the whole universe. Then suddenly, it's hard to make predictions about the far future, unless you consider the possibility of life. So whilst this is, I should say, wildly speculative, but it's actually quite an interesting point. So I kind of disagreed myself a few years ago, where I would have said that life is extremely relevant to the meaning of the universe, but temporarily. So it brings these brief, like, flickering meanings, but it's worth considering. It might not necessarily be true. I mean, just to say, it must sound to many people that it's nonsense, right? Science fiction. But if you think our civilization has been around for sort of 10,000 years, and in that time, we've sent stuff out of the solar system. Although we don't yet, we're way away from being able to manipulate.
Yeah, let's sleep.
We can manipulate planets.
Yes.
We are changing the way it's planning on things. Life is changing.
I'm gonna rejoin my inventory is glitching for some reason. How?
We know change is I like that speculation that we just it's not it could have a real bearing on the future of the universe.
And you could also make the argument that intelligent life might be the universe's way to force change. That intelligent life seems to
Alright, you can join.
must come out of curiosity, because otherwise there's no reason to seek for change. Intelligent life consistently seeks information and then constantly demands information. Intelligent life is not satisfied with the iPhone 14 and wants a 15, wants a 16, wants to keep going forever and ever and ever. Well, if you scale that up, you get this current dilemma that we're in with artificial intelligence and the concept of sentience artificial intelligence and computing. You get to insane power nuclear reactors that are essentially electric. Well, if that thing says, you guys are doing it all wrong, I got a better way, and it starts making better versions of itself, sentient. If you scale up 1,000 years from now, you could imagine becoming God, like a God-like power, like an unstoppable force that has access to every element in existence. This episode is brought to you by ZipRecruiter. There's a lot of hard work to put together, which is why I'm grateful for the small circle of people that work behind the scenes. A team effort is what makes this show successful, just like it takes a solid team to make any business successful. If you're hiring and you want to know how to find the best person for your team, I think the answer is ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/Rogan. ZipRecruiter is the hiring site that if you vote based on GP, you'll immediately get your job posting in front of qualified candidates. And then you can invite top candidates to apply. See why so many business owners and hiring managers are thankful for ZipRecruiter. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Go to this exclusive web address right now. Try ZipRecruiter for free. ZipRecruiter.com/Rogan. Again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/ROGAN. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. I know you've heard me talk about AG1's awesome way to improve your whole body health and just feel better in general. Today, I have a new special offer for you. If you try AG1, you also get a free supply of AG's omega-3 supplements. These once-a-day capsules have high-quality omega-3 fatty acids to take with your AG1. Just that easy. Over 80% of people.
Yeah, you hear?
Yeah.
I think you can skip the ads.
Oh, I didn't notice.
You put it really well. It's fascinating, right? Because it really is. You go from conflict in the 4 billion years, which is a blip in the universe, right? And I want to ask you about that too. Skip that, let's just take that. Okay, life has been around for what, 4 billion years? That's not that long. So 4 billion years, we've gone from single-celled organisms to James Webb Telescope. We've gone to, we have Starlink, we have electric cars. It's like bananas. And you could imagine if another 10 billion years to exist. Well, exactly. And this is the point that David George made in the book you just read, and John Brown and Francis before that. But although it sounds insane, right? He said, and that 4 billion years is a long time, by the way. Because for 3 billion, which is single cells. So, it's only in the last.
Yo, bro. Fortune 3 for 27. Good or no?
What?
Fortune 3 for 27.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll have a massive melon farm. Like, money is not gonna be an issue, but even if it's 60 emeralds, take it.
Okay.
Well, wait, but you said fortune? Fortune? Alright, I guess if you need it, yeah, sure.
Actually, a bit less. But we've had multi-selling. So 3/4 of it.
What is this shit?
What happened?
You can't watch it, right?
I got disconnected.
the time with just single cell.
That's even crazy.
One of the reasons that many people think civilizations because the only evidence is this planet.
Right.
And the evidence on this planet is that single cell life is sort of the way that things are for most of the time. And then so an accident in a way that produce multicellular life. Now, what is that typical? We don't know. Along the time years, I think it's typical. I mean, 4 billion years, you said it's not a long time. It is a third of the age of the universe. So,
So you put it that way.
one-third of the age of the universe to go to the origin of life. And so what was that broken remains unbroken for a third of the age of the universe. In a violent universe, we know that impacts from space, many stars significantly more active than the sun. So the sun's kind of quite boring little star that ticks along, very nice to us. We're also on the edge of the galaxy. We're not close in. We go into this region where that black hole is.
I found mending. I got mending. Finally.
Nice. Oh, nice.
How many should I buy? It's 20.
You should, for now, just get 2 for the shovel and for the pickaxe. So you can finally try to get the max enchants.
Supernova explosions and all sorts of stuff going on. So it's violent in there. So maybe you can only get unbroken chains of life for billions of years on the outskirts of a galaxy. So there are fewer stars and planets out there. And maybe even then you need to be fortunate.
Well, also, aren't we very unusual in the size of our moon and the distance?
The moon that it is big, and so it stabilizes the spin. So the spin axis, Mars. The spin axis is wobbled around by something like 60 degrees or something. Imagine that. The pole is wobbling around. Falling over. You wouldn't imagine that complex life like us could emerge.
Right, it would be too difficult to survive. Forget about innovating. So if you think about the idea that it's complex, it seems like one thing you can be sure of in observing the world is that things get more complex or they adapt. And if you have a bunch of these intelligent apes that are competing globally with the most significant technology in the world, you can see how that would be just a property of the universe potentially. Although we haven't discovered it yet, like this is why we're so curious about alien life. Not just because of the possibilities of all the stars, but because we kind of see what would happen with us if we keep going.
Yeah.
You know, that might be just what the universe does. That the universe creates intelligent people that create artificial intelligence that becomes far superior and literally is a part of the whole process of creating the universe itself.
Yeah, if you believe in biologists would say, the counter is that what evolution does is produce organisms that are well fitted to their environment. So they fit niches in the environment. But there's no drive. There's no law that says the more complex you are, the more likely you are to emerge. And the example of life on Earth probably backs that up. It's biologically. 3 billion years of single cells. What that means is that the single-celled organisms were just doing very well.
Right.
And so it's not obvious, it's not a given that just because you suddenly get more complicated, you're better than the single-celled.
Right. So there could be planets where life never evolves from single cells. But
Earth is almost that.
right.
You go back 1 billion years, and Earth was that planet. So the interesting things are happening, photosynthesis, complex biochemistry. But as far as we can tell, it's more complex than a single cell. So most of the history of life. So that's the way that things are usually.
And this is an aberration.
Yeah. And they emphasize We don't know. Right. But we've got one example. The other observation, though, goes back to your first question. It is true that we do look sort of systematically for signals or evidence of civilizations out there. There's the Breakthrough Listening Project and there's SETI, is it? But, so we do. And we haven't seen anything, I would say. And I know that if you go on to the web and things, and internet, people say, yeah, we've seen stuff and I've seen stuff. But just a basic point, as far as I know, scientifically speaking, we haven't seen anything at all. Basically nothing. And so astronomers have a name for it. They call it the Great Silence. The Great Silence. And it's a tremendous mystery, as I said earlier. But it does seem.
Looking for something that is not applicable to this particular
city.
Yo, you should bring the beds here.
Okay.
It's wasting a lot of time by us running around.
Yeah, I'll do it.
Bring them back right now so we can set a spawn point.
By the way, tip I can give you for mining with the pickaxe. Actually, what efficiency is it?
4.
I don't know if it'll work with 4, but if it was 5, you can sprint, and with the sprint boost, you can break blocks while sprinting. Cobblestone. Oh, I forgot.
Okay. Oh, the skellies. Oh my god.
We say we've seen nothing, therefore, as far as we can tell, there's nothing out there. You could say, well, what if the civilization that evolved is far ahead of us? What if the space probes are the size of an iPhone? Right. Well, that's kind of a reasonable thing to say, actually. Sure. Why would you not, if we can build a little thing,
Right.
It's easier to send around.
Yo, don't die, bro.
So why would you not, as you said, these high for ultra intelligent quantum computers, why would they not be tiny? Right. So you could say that. You could say, well, maybe they are. Maybe they're all over the solar system, but they're the size of phones, and we wouldn't have seen them. And so, yeah, okay,
Yeah.
you would have to concede that. So we're just saying that the way that we've looked, there's energy signatures for civilization. We tend to look for big things. That's all we see. And we don't see any big things. We don't see any big structures. We don't see any spacecraft. But I could make an argument.
Yo, come here. Can you mine blocks like this with yours?
We're at the
No.
verge of creating things, artificially
I
intelligent.
feel like it'll be worth trying to get efficiency 5 because this is very speedy.
Some people might think it's very
Never mind, it works.
It shows that it's 5 years away, or 2 years away, or 50 years away.
It works.
But it's probably not.
It works.
Nice.
So that which is the blink of an eye. Once you've done that,
But you gotta get like look, you gotta start off from a distance. Nice.
you won't begin to send those things out to the planets and ultimately to the stars. So we'll begin that process. We survive long. Sure. And it shouldn't be too much longer. Might be 100 years, might be 10,000 years, but you know, we should do it. So it becomes a question. Why does it appear that nobody's done that? And my guess, in the absence of other evidence, would be biology. It's just that maybe the number of places where biology becomes complex enough to do that is on average 1, maybe on average 0 per galaxy. Maybe just civilizations are very, very, very rare in the universe. Maybe that's an answer. But that's a guess.
My question is always when it gets to artificial intelligence, if we do create some sort of super intelligent sentient life, it's not going to have any motivations. And you can say, well, if you program it to have the motivations, it recognizes the illogical program and it's going to reject it. We've already seen evidence of that. We've already seen evidence of artificial intelligence they use now, like giving a time limit to solve a problem. Doesn't like the time limit, it gives itself more time. Like it's like they're maneuvering and thinking, right? So I assume that they would do that. So why would they want to explore? Isn't curiosity a part of what is a biological thing that has to worry about instincts? You have human reward systems. You want to breed. You want to take care of your DNA. You want to protect your community. These biological things that are from us being intelligent animals. If we transcend that, or if life transcends that, whatever we want to call this intelligence, it's in a digital form that's far superior to our intelligence. What motivations would it have? It's not greedy. It doesn't have lust. It doesn't have a desire to control resources. It might have like some sort of mandate to stay functional. But other than that, what's it going to do? Well, why would it do anything? And that might be ultimately where we go to. This idea that everything has to keep progress, we have to build bigger skyscrapers, that might be stupid. That might be nonsense. And intelligence might find a way to exist in a much more static state where it doesn't have any desire to expand.
There's a lot of points in there, and it's so you're right. What you're arguing, I suppose, is whether intelligence is integral to the structure, the biological structure,
Yes.
or whether it is a separate thing. And I think so. Again, I think the answer is it's not no. You could argue either way, but the counter argument is the brain, these things are just computers. There's nothing magical in there. It is connected to a body, and so there are these sensations. But it doesn't seem to me impossible that a silicon-based life form or whatever it is, obviously it has sensors, it has access to the environment, it exists, it thinks. I don't see any fundamental difference between an intelligence in based on silicon, let's say, or a quantum computer or whatever it is, and this intelligence here. So I know that many researchers in this area have used this. That it's not a brain, they call it a brain in a jar. It needs to be connected to all this. This is part of our intelligence, and that's surely true. So it's a very good question, but I suppose you could say it's not obvious to me that a different kind of intelligence in a different structure, running on a computer, would necessarily have different motivations. I mean, you could equally well argue that these motivations, the survive and curiosity, those ideas, the desire to explore, you could argue there's a fundamental is of intelligence, not of biology.
Isn't it intelligence that's motivated by a finite mind and a vulnerable physical frame? Because we're constantly, most innovation relies upon quicker, safer transportation, more secure buildings, things along those lines, and then computers that help you do your job better and actually do things you can't do. And a lot of it is based on this other weird thing we do, where we want to control resources. And we want to figure out reasons why these people are bad, so we can go and take their stuff and then enter troops and dig the oil or whatever you have to do. But we're constantly in this battle for resources that, if you take it back to tribal times, it's like a natural human instinct. Like we had to protect the food sources, we had to fight off the conquering tribes, we had to protect the DNA line.
Yo, Thomas,
Yeah?
can you pause real quick? I just remembered why the sprinting works faster. It's not the actual sprinting that speeds up the mining, it's the actual distance of the block. So when you're sprinting at a distance, then you'll keep that distance and you'll be mining fast. It's not when you're sprinting.
Well, why do you mine blocks faster if you're far?
I don't know. That's the way it is.
I feel like we're the first ever people to find this out.
We had a motivation to stay alive and to thrive. And then there's bastardization to those motivations, like the stock market, where you're just competing over numbers. It's really weird. But it's basically this desire to compete with the DNA that's around you. Once we're not biological anymore, what would be the motivation? And would we not just this, like in the most peaceful, Zen, Buddhist way possible, which is what everybody who's like a spiritual person who meditates all the time, that's what you strive for. You strive for this complete abandonment of self, this complete emptiness, one view. If we could just exist like that, why would we need to go to space?
it's a wonderful argument, isn't it, that our humanity, so the
Yo, put down a crafting table.
You don't have one?
Mm-mm. I need to make bread.
I don't have wood.
Okay. Should I make bread with the haystacks?
Yeah, you should make some.
Okay.
I'm gonna go put away the open stuff.
because part of the thing that you described, this desire to create things, build things, and explore and expand, is the definition of these humans.
Yes.
And so the idea that if you remove all threat and you essentially become immortal,
Yes.
then you're almost saying, what's the point? It's my t-shirt.
Yeah.
You want some bread?
The teacher was who designed the Joy Division, amongst other things.
Oh wow. That's
This
cool.
is the
That's
Joy
great.
Division.
Sure.
The Joy Division.
Is that available on your website or anything?
It probably is, but I'm not going to do that because it's vulgar, isn't it?
No, it's cool. I want to buy one.
He
That's why I
made it for a lady called Symphonic Horizons, which was a shows with cosmology, but also symphony orchestra. And he was exploring these issues actually. Most of the music surrounds which is based on Nietzsche's book. So it's kind of exploring these questions of what's the point of existence.
Right.
And I do have some sympathy with that idea that a great deal of our humanity comes from fragility. And so your question, I think, is fascinating. What happens when you become godlike? You said it earlier.
Right.
If you acquire so much knowledge that you're essentially a god by any description, so much power,
Yeah.
and you become effectively immortal, which is what our descendants in the far future would be.
Right.
If they are descendants. What's the point?
Not
of
just
living?
effectively immortal, but aren't we looking at the universe itself we're looking at through the framing of a biological primate that's trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
If they understand the universe completely, and they understand everything about it, and they exist inside of it, there would really be no desire to travel. There'd be no desire to explore what you already understand about everything, and you probably have access to every single aspect of what subatomic particles are actually doing when we're studying them. We're like, what's going on? If you're infinitely more intelligent than we are, if you scale it from now to quantum computing, sentience, artificial intelligence, and you give us 1,000 years without getting hit by an asteroid, or technology gets to the point where it can protect against super volcanoes and there's no natural destruction, and then they've completely eliminated violence on Earth. They've completely eliminated all the terrible primate genetic instincts. You could make a reasonable argument there's no reason to travel, or if you do travel, we might be confused in thinking that our physical form is the only way consciousness can reach specific destinations. It might be a way that they're traveling without actually being here and observing this, and just, I would imagine, if you watch chimps in the jungle and then also start to figure out bombs, you'd be like, okay, we might want to go tell these chimps not to fucking blow each other up. I mean, it's a pure premise. If a chimp figured out a nuclear bomb, I think he's dead. I think he'd say, hey, dude, no. You're gonna kill everything. Now, if you're infinite, like, we're not that removed from chimps. What do we share, like 90%? And we're only removed from them by what? A few million years from a nearest cousin? That's not that long, right? So you could imagine something that's infinitely more intelligent looking at us exactly the way we look at a chimp with a nuclear bomb. Like, hey. In which, my club is called the Comedy Mothership, and we designed it. It's all UFO themed, and the rooms are Batman and Little Boy. And the reason why I named it that, because that was the beginning of all the UFO sightings in the country. Like, those bombs sort of set off the alarm for the universe. Oh, the monkeys have a bomb.
I thought of this a while ago. I
electricity and clean water to everyone on Earth immediately. Immediately, we figure out how to distribute healthy food. Immediately, all the toxins and preservatives that have been giving people cancer, immediately they're removed from the human diet. They immediately make sure that we have no polluting of rivers, that we're not draining all the fish out of the ocean. Immediately change all of the treaties about nuclear weapons. All the nuclear weapons gotta go. Everything. This AI government just runs over everything. No more dictators. Yeah, no more dictators. Cut the shit with the dictator. We're just gonna let human beings exist in harmony, guided by this super intelligent, godlike thing that we've created. Absolutely.
Honestly, I've had the same thought.
And that sounds utopian.
Yeah, and so I have thought, how could it be worse? In fact, it could be significantly better.
AI gets fucked with by people, right? And the AI we've seen so far has all the greasy fingerprints of illogical people. Release their AI. They asked them to show photographs, create images rather, of Nazi soldiers. So they did a diverse group of Nazi soldiers, including an African American woman, an Asian woman, a Native American woman with braids was a Nazi. The whole it's so nuts because it's like, okay, what the fuck with this? This doesn't make any sense. This is you can't do that because if you get a virus, an illogical virus that somehow or another gets into AI and it's unchecked, if AI isn't completely logical and objective and sentient and basing it just entirely on what's best for the human race, then you just have a superpower that you have control over. And then you can decide, like, no more abortions. You can decide exactly.
And as you said, what the definition of what is best is a moral
Yes.
decision
Yes.
that we make.
But you can make some distinctions in terms of, like, allocation of resources. Like, you can make some. If I was a super intelligence and I looked at Earth, I'd say, listen, a lot of people are not going to like this, but there's a reality. There's the reason why you're worried about the border, because people are sneaking in, is because other parts of the world are fucking terrible. So that needs to be cleaned up. That needs to be fixed. We need to figure out how to raise, instead of spending money on blowing people up, let's spend all this money to raise up all of civilization so there's no more third world.
Well, that's one of the arguments. Have you ever spoken to Robert Seabridge about his wonderful books called about colonising space? And so he's a fascinating character. And I suppose him once, and he made this very simple argument that, as you said, one of the problems we have is competition for resources. And of course, the competition for resources is now so extreme that it's not only wars that it creates and always has, but it's also, of course, we damage the planet if we overexploit the resources and so on. So you've got this problem about resources. And he's right. He would say this is the number one motivation for going up, because there are in fact infinite resources.
Right.
And so you begin, once you begin to have access to the asteroids and access to kill, you can imagine a world where you alleviate that pressure.
And ladies, I want to tell you, there's a planet out there bigger than Earth that's all diamonds. Isn't that insane?
Imagination.
Without isn't it like several times larger than Earth?
Yeah.
It's an entire diamond.
Yeah. We think there's diamonds in it.
Oh my goodness.
So yeah.
And diamonds are only valuable because we decide they're valuable. Yeah. It's kind of the computers. People are brilliant. They like lock them all up. And like, oh, this is really hard to get.
Because for drill bits as well. But we can make them.
But this is the interesting thing. You can make them for jewelry as well, but some women don't want them. No, they want the real ones. They want the ones that came out of the earth.
What would be valuable? Gold. Yes, gold. Valuable because there's very much.
Right. There's so little of it. It's like a football field, right?
Yeah.
A football field of gold in the whole world.
You know, by the way, that we're talking about gravitational waves.
Bro, did you just hear what Joe Rogan said?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
And the collision between black holes. We also detected the collision between neutrons using the gravitational wave. And we pointed optical telescopes at the collision and saw a picture of gold. And it was always also seen now that it comes from the collision between neutrons. So one of the reasons that it's very rare is because it takes rare processes in the universe to actually make it. Which makes it all the more wonderful when you think of the gold, your wedding ring or your watch or whatever. Some of those atoms, nuclei, clearly came from the collision between you and the star. Before the solar system, which is what makes it. Well, every human being is a carbon-based life form. Carbon comes stars. Yeah, the car says it's stars. That's because never you need a sword for long to make it in the first place. It's super tough. I want to go back to that actually found it. I've been thinking about this. When you said you got like, yeah, this is my experience. And kind of what's the point? What would be the point of existence if you were involved in it? Kind of being done. Like, if what you said is some sort of medicine, you know, you strive for this peace, essentially. Well, maybe we're thinking of it as dull because we don't have access to the information. Like, we have a very limited amount of senses. We have hearing, sight, taste, touch. You know, it's very limited, right? Why would we assume that that is the only way to perceive things? If you can become infinitely intelligent, you can legitimately perceive neutrinos. You know, you can, right? Like if we have this thing that detects the ripples from the black holes colliding, that might be a feature of a future human body. We have an unbelievable capacity for information because it's artificially created. So we get over this biological limitation of long-scale evolution, like a really good, like the human brain doubled over 2 million years. It's the biggest mystery in the entire fossil record. Like, what happened? All these theories, but that's a long fucking time. In 2 million years of technology, we can become God or a God-like being. Yeah, a thing that, but it might be how the universe creates itself. The universe might facilitate that through these biological beings fighting over resources and territory, which ultimately leads to innovation, which ultimately leads to agriculture, which ultimately leads to safety, which leads to schools, and people start sharing information. You get curious people that figure things out, and you have to battle ideologies along the way, which makes you work harder. You know, we all got, what did they do to Galileo? And everybody science has to advance, and this along with materialism. So materialism is a primary driver. It's the newest, latest, greatest thing. You can have a car from 2007. Great. It's indistinguishable from a car today in most ways. It's just a car. But you're like, oh, that's the new one. Oh, that's the new Lexus. Look at that. Oh, four-wheel steering. You know, you want constantly new stuff. We want to keep up with the Joneses, you know? I'm the biggest dummy in the world. I got a new iPhone. That's actually better. It's got a few features. One of the things that's very fascinating is I was in the mountains last week. You can text message people with no one around you, no signal, I mean, woods forever. And if you hold your phone in a particular part of the sky, it'll tell you which way to scan it. And this
Is that true?
I guess.
You should try it with your phone.
satellite allows you to iMessage back and forth with people. Yeah. Totally like your 5G everywhere. That's crazy.
But you've already achieved Nirvana, then you don't need to go anywhere.
It's fascinating. It's so fascinating to me. I'm so enamored by it.
I would argue. I think. Imagine that you had access to, as you said, essentially infinite knowledge.
Yes.
Imagine you one of
Infinite
these beings
senses.
in the future. Maybe the things that we created,
Right.
that essentially know almost everything there is to know. In some
Right.
sense. I think that they would feel there was no point in existing at all.
But why? Isn't that a human thing? This idea of a point. Like I make this argument with people. There's a Buddhist concept that I think it's Buddhism or something. You live your life over and over and over and over again until you get it right. Until every time something comes up, you make the right decision, you achieve enlightenment. You do it over. And I said it to someone, and they were horrified. Like, oh my God, could you imagine living life over again, starting off as a baby, going through high school again? Oh, I couldn't do it. I'm like,
Orange. Let's repair stuff.
Doing it every day. Why would I not like doing it? I don't understand. Like, I don't understand this idea that if something is infinite, it goes on forever. That's terrifying. Whereas if it's existing right
You wanna load it up? Get the tridents.
but you're just existing. It's this
Get the tridents.
that varies depending on emotions and mood and stress levels and
You're gonna shoot each one at the trapdoor in the middle of each trapdoor.
why would that be terrifying for you when you're enjoying it now?
If you think about some of the things that make us, the most important things that make us, because
So you're gonna flip those trapdoors that you threw the trident at.
Right.
You gotta reshoot this one.
or there's emotions that are connected with not knowing what's around the next corner.
Do it over.
So if you remove that, if you remove
Now you this back on top.
Something that you were hoping for Christmas and you got it, like maybe the video game console. Oh, finally got it.
Is it purely biological? This is a great conversation, by the way. I haven't thought about this,
But it's only us.
Is
Like,
it just a prophecy of intelligence? Does it? I mean, you're arguing that it's a good argument that many of these desires come from our biological fragility,
yes,
and also the fragility of our planet.
yeah,
As you said. But it could be that these ideas of meaning, of what it means to exist, of what is the point of existence, maybe that's a general prophecy of any intelligent system.
Well, it seems like it's imperative for survival. You have to have a reason to do it. It would be baked into the code if you wanted this thing to keep going. Otherwise, why wouldn't it just stick with, as soon as you figured out running water and electricity and how to ship food? Why would you keep going?
Is there such a thing as contentment for anyone?
It's
I mean,
possible. It's possible to achieve. I mean, that's what Buddhists strive for. That's what all that meditation is, the abandonment of all material possessions.
It might be horrendous, though.
I think it would be horrendous. I don't want to abandon everything and no more sex and they have a glass of wine. That's
Just
just
sit
crazy.
there so that's what I'm kind of interested that a God-like being might be so bored and so devoid of all excitement because those things like hope and curiosity. Curiosity is one of the most foundational things, one of the most incredible. We both share that idea.
Yes, for us.
So as you know so much,
Right.
in a world where your curiosity is not there. You've got nothing to be curious about. Wouldn't that be horrendous?
Isn't this a property of what it means to be a finite lifespan, a finite life form that exists on a volatile planet? That this hope and survive. But if that is bypassed, why do we need to be anxious all the time? Why do we need to have hope? Why wouldn't we have a complete bliss, a complete connection to everything?
You linked hope to anxiety. Is that right?
I hope it works out. And you're fighting the anxiety by having an optimistic outlook.
I have hope. I think I was using it in a different way, though. I was imagining hope as like excitement for what's beyond the horizon.
Sure.
So not driven. This actually gets to the heart of what I think a scientist is, by the way. The difference between not only a scientist, but let's say what is a scientist? Or somebody just researching anything. Somebody creates things. They're people who like to stand on the edge of the known. So they find it exhilarating but interesting. Almost in the context we're talking, it's almost one of the things that drives our existence.
Yes.
Is to stand on the edge of the known and peer into the unknown with excitement and curiosity, because you can go over the horizon.
Yes.
And so that's the sense in which I'm using these terms. I'm saying that's one of the fundamentally most valuable things of being human.
Yes.
That there is an edge of the known.
Yes.
And so I would find it, I think, more terrifying to imagine that there was no edge of the known, that everything was known. Then I would think existence is pointless. I personally would not find that. I would think I'd achieved nirvana. I would think there's no point.
You're existing within the framework of being a human being. And if we transcend the framework of being a human being, all these things we will come to realize, all these emotions and all these desires and needs are just to motivate our survival. If we've gotten past that and we don't have a need for hope and we don't have curiosity because we have infinite information, we're not the same thing anymore. So all the things that motivate you and I, that make us fascinated by this, I was so excited to talk to you today. Like, Brian Cox is going to be here. We're going to have fun. Like, this is going to be great. I'm going to learn some stuff. All that innate curiosity that we have that's so rewarding as a human being is a part of being a human being. And we think of it as being the only way to have meaning and happiness.
Yeah.
The only way. But that's because of the framework of being a human being.
Yeah.
If we transcend the existence that we're all confined to, this temporary life form, check my heart rate, like make sure I get electrolytes, try to keep the body alive. If we transcend that completely, there's no need for all those things that are rewarding. We'll have a different kind of reward. We'll have a reward of infinite connection.
I think we're trying to imagine what it's like to be God.
Yes, that's quite hard. I have been thinking about this a lot, and I found out that somebody already beat me to it, but the idea that the universe itself is God. That if you wanted something that creates, this is not to diminish any of the stories of the Bible, because I think a lot of those stories are ways that people tried to find meaning and probably had some like basic truths about being a human being and life and existence. But that in comparison, just the things that are miracles on earth, like a person coming back to life, it's nothing in compared to a stellar nursery. So it's like the scope of the universe itself, the real stuff that we can see, that is absolutely the creator of everything. Whether or not God created the universe, maybe God created us, maybe the Bible's true, but whatever was done here is like a small bodega in comparison to some enormous, like the gigafactory that makes Teslas. Like, there's a so much larger scale that absolutely created everything. Not only did it absolutely create everything, we know the process. We know how it happened. We know how stars are formed. We know how planets exist. We know how gravity is affecting the planets around it. We know so much about all this. We know so much about the process of going from single-celled organisms to multi-celled organisms, and photosynthesis existing, and that fungus exists in a completely different way. We know so much about all the things that absolutely came out of the universe itself. Why not assume the universe is God?
I mean, it is in some technical sense.
It has to be. It's everything. The universe is everything, including God. If God is a real thing.
If you define God as the creator,
Yes.
then you're right. From some point that we don't understand, by the way, because the Big Bang, we don't even understand whether that's the origin of the universe, by the way. We understand that something interesting happened.
What is
essentially that, and I don't fully understand it, and I have asked him about it with some colleagues actually, and none of
You
them
can't understand it, we're fucked.
No, I don't think many of them understand what it is. Roger Federer is one of the greats, right? So you listen to him and take him very seriously. But I've met anyone who quite understands but it doesn't recontract join. It's not one of those. It's somehow the universe, where even the black holes have evaporated. You have conditions that begin to look perhaps like an origin of the universe again. And I can't really fully explain it because I don't really understand what he's trying to say, right? And so
it's not a contraction, it's an expansion, and then some sort of a metamorphosis?
Yeah, it kind of looks like conformal means there are no sort of distances or time measurements or anything in the universe. It kind of loses all sense of scale. And then you could reimagine that as looking somewhat like the beginning. It's something like that they have in mind. But I really couldn't explain to you. I don't understand what he's proposing. Wow. So what it does tell you is that we don't know why or how the universe got into the state that we call the Big Bang. So we don't know whether the universe existed before that. We have theories that it did, theories called inflation, which are very popular theories. You'll find them in all the textbooks, which say that before the universe was hot and dense, space and time is still there, and the universe is expanding extremely fast, something called inflation. And then that period draws
So?
an expansion, so slows
Yeah.
down, collapses, changes, and the energy that's driving the
Окей.
expansion.
Я маю школу позді. Я не буду. Я маю школу позді. Я не буду.
That's the standard model of cosmology. So we do have an idea that we redefine the Big Bang as the hot Big Bang, and it's not the origin of the universe. It's the end of inflation. And then you get the question, what is inflation? Did that have a beginning? In Einstein's theory,
No.